Alright, greetings people, how you feeling? Hope you well. My name is Biko. Welcome to the Life They Tell Us. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe now. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the aura, guys. The power of your aura, your energy, how to use it, how to cleanse it, how to just just make it improve your life, So I've noticed like a lot of people, yes, they kind of have an idea of what the aura is. Some do, some don't. But how do we actually, know and use its power and basically just take care of it, Because some people just take these things for granted, And I wanted to speak about these things so that we can better to just improve our quality of life and just be able to move better in this life, So yeah, guys, so your aura, guys. So your aura, just to get more a bit scientific and a bit more specific with these things, it's like your electromagnetic field, guys. Like, I don't know if you know this, but your body literally is electricity and magnetism at the same time. So that's why it's electromagnetic. So it actually sends out signals throughout everywhere that you are. If you're in any room, if you just have certain thoughts, like those are sending out signals around your environment and they respond differently. Like think of like how whenever you use a device or whatever, like maybe it's a radio or something, there's a particular frequency that signal is giving out, right? So there's different frequencies and different signals, right? So in your aura, the same way that some would be stored in your aura and some could be cleansed, some be transferred. But now, as the human body was brains, right? There's a lot that can be processed in a lot of different ways. So it can be stored, it can be transferred. So if you don't know these things, how they work, or you don't take time to really cleanse or just figure out how to like use them, or just it's gonna be a problem, because for example, how maybe out of a sudden maybe you had a great day, but then something happens where you all of a sudden feeling down or tired or clumsy or not as confident, or sometimes you're just feeling doubtful, worried, paranoid, or those kind of energies, So energy is a way how we can actually measure how we're feeling, how we can measure our aura, guys, because of it's literally that part where it doesn't have to be with words or sounds, but they also can affect your state of being in your aura, guys. So your aura, that's part of you, it's your space, it's your energy. So some things can stay in your aura, some things could be engaging with your aura, something could be reflecting or deflecting, something could be attracted by your aura now, because it's the kind of energy that way when you move around, like it can repel certain things or attract certain things depending on what your state of aura is, right? So if you're in a low vibration aura or frequency, then it's easy for you to not be in control of your thoughts or emotions. It's easy to be susceptible to outside influences. It's easy for you to be easily manipulated or deceived, or it's just generally easy for you to just be not like being who you are, because you easily moved around because of your aura is not strong enough. You don't have a solid defense. Anything can penetrate. Like it's kind of like how maybe the radio itself, certain buttons are not working, or all of a sudden it's just on a different frequency, So I don't know how you maintain or how her lifestyle is, but now if you do literally take time just to cleanse out certain energies, clear out, just to do the inner work, your frequency, your linings, then you're able to work on your aura, your frequency, guys, because the aura can do a lot, guys, The aura can do a lot, like literally, like even some things that you can just think of, it could just happen like instantly, depending on how strong your aura is. Because of, I'm just gonna break it down in a more specific way, right? So we have three brains, guys. So our brains are literally an advanced technology, like natural technology, where like they literally can receive thoughts and send out feelings and energies and emotions, right? So it can pick up certain things that certain senses can't, right? Because apparently, like we know that we have 5 senses. That's what they tell us, but we actually have a lot of senses, right? So our brains literally are the sensor, our central nervous system, where all these senses are processed and how they can create certain signals out there and create your worldview. That's how we kind of interface with our environment. That's how we can feel our environment. So if you don't take time just to really understand, okay, how's my aura, how am I feeling, what's your specific energy, what's your specific frequency that makes you feel charged up, that makes you feel comfortable, that makes you feel unshakable. Because if you're not comfortable, it's a good sign that something is not right in your space. Like if you're not feeling happy or content, there's something that's not right. If you don't have any peace, something's not right, because that's not your natural state of being. Like there's a point where you just feel naturally flowing with things. You're just naturally good at certain things. You're just naturally feeling happy. You're not having this weight on top. You just feel light. You just, that's when your aura is clean and proper. And if you take care of it, you can actually grow and develop it. And that's how you can literally navigate through the world and get all the things that you want, because of specific things. There's even some things that you don't know that you can attract or you can get, but because of your aura is giving out that kind of energy, it kind of sends out that signal and is kind of more warming and comfortable, right? But now if you're not careful of it, then other people around you, their auras can affect you, right? So that's why maybe with the dowry, the worries, the doubts, the gossip, the hate, the envy, that kind of low vibration energy where it just changes the beauty of things or just changes how things are and is not grateful or just basically doesn't, just spreads negative energy. Obviously there's always going to be different energies out there, but how you perceive them affects your aura as well. So some people can see things differently, but now if they condescending or if they just like act like manji, they all fresh or they worse, people just don't appreciate things. That's generally low vibrating energy. So there's certain things that could be carried on in other people's auras because now they interface, they engage with one another, they create a different connection now, and that creates a different aura on its own. The group of people that you're with, there's a different aura compared to your own individual aura. So it forms different auras altogether. That's how when you move with the group, you can feel the difference of energy when you interact with other people going to a space, because you can tell that your aura, depending on how strong the connections are and how strong the vibration is of the aura. But sometimes if it's weak, if it's not really structured, you can tell like there's not a barrier that is there. There's no space that is done that's taking care of it that way. So you need to take care of your own personal aura, because of these things that, whether you like it or not, will be able to interact and will be in a point where they stay in your aura. And if you don't cleanse them out, they end up creating more filth and end up taking more space and can create a way for like other energies, vampires or parasites or energies that least charge of energy, because now you're not in your natural state of being where like you're just allowing any vibration, any aura. That's why it's important to clean. The same way you with your physical body, you bath, the same way also in your mind, you just also don't allow anything as well. Also after a while, you also don't just let it be what it is. You don't just let it go like that. You maintain it, you take care of it, you clean it, you give positive thoughts, you give positive observations, you become grateful and gratitude. That's why certain practices actually help. So the aura is not actually the same as spiritual energy and stuff, although there is some type of connection, because some other people have their own way of connecting to the universe. How I actually mentioned how your aura, there's certain things that you see in your own way, and the energy is there, you can feel it. So some may make sense, some might not. So some people might not be able to process the things that you can process individually, because your aura is attuned to a specific way, like it vibrates just differently. So but with vibrations, that there's always vibration everywhere, and they can kind of, there's always like, even in physics, there's like how that, like there's interference, there's like positive interference and there's like destructive interference, right? So there's where like some energies and vibrations, when they combine together, they actually amplify and they become bigger, but there's some that actually destroy them and become lesser now and creates an interference where it becomes destructive. This is actually science, right? But like I also want to make you understand, like in your day-to-day life, in your aura, there's certain energies that are being sent out, and those energies have specific vibrations, and those vibrations, they connect or clash with your environment in different ways. So you need to be careful of those things. So yes, sometimes depending on where you are or what stage that you're in, it's also important to understand that some things are unavoidable. It's all about processing them well enough and not staying in those energies and frequencies. Sometimes you don't have to stay in that thing just because something bad happened. Just suddenly I feel pain or suffering, now I have to continue living that way. Sometimes you can just acknowledge it, don't ignore it, because when you ignore it now, it actually creates a bigger shadow now, and it always chase you around. It's always going to be there because now you're acting like it doesn't there. So you have to kind of like allow these things, understand that they're in your space now and they're not moving around. So it does not matter where you are, it doesn't matter what you have, or like literally they'll always be around with you. So if you're not at peace, if you're always not feeling okay, there's always going to be certain energy that's going to be there, that's gonna bring you down or give you certain weight or just make some clumsy, make your life disorderly and just make it all chaotic. So this is why it's important to just take care of your aura. Figure out, okay, when you're not stimulated, when you're not like watching anything, or you're not focused on anything else, you just cleanse, you just become with yourself, right? So if you're not happy with that particular thing, that's now you understand that there's other energies that are not allowing you to be who you are. Because when you were born, you were literally had the most freedom, you were feeling the most light, you were always like just chilled and contained, not really happy, but you were more at peace. But now as time goes by, there's certain experiences that stay with you now, and you end up carrying this weight, you end up carrying these energies and spaces, and if you don't cleanse that out once in a while, you end up thinking that's who you are, you end up thinking that's who you is, because you end up accepting it as a part of you, but that's not really true. They just kind of invaded your space, and you don't cleanse, you don't take time to just clear out those energies. So that's why I want you to understand that your aura, because of sometimes even people you don't know, they can pick up those certain signals and frequencies. That's why you get with other people that you didn't intend. Maybe you think maybe have bad luck or certain bad situations, but or whatever. Because obviously there's always energy exchanges everywhere. Sometimes it could be done intentionally by someone, but sometimes it's just because of we don't generally cleanse. Because of these things happen, if you don't maintain these things, obviously it's going to create a different type of energy. So yeah, guys, so I just want you to be more aware of your energy that you give out, and whenever you do, whether it be in your life, in your relationships, in your spaces, in your hobbies, if there's certain energy and frequency that you're not cleansing out, like religiously or like a lot more often, it's gonna be harder for you to be able to like have the purity that you have. So check the things that are meant for you, that's your thing, that's not disrupting it, that's not creating any disharmony, that's not creating any chaos, that's not creating any like things that you don't that are not necessary for you. So yeah, guys, so that's just it. That was the message for today. I hope that you're well, kings and queens. Hope that you rise. We're still going to be talking about other concepts and other things in terms of nature, but I just want you to recognize that there's energies that are there and they interact with your energy, and sometimes when you don't acknowledge them, like you think that it was just random or nothing happens. Now nothing ever happens for like randomly. Nothing ever happens out of like chance. Like everything, there's a reason why things happen the way that they do. So if you're not taking care of your space, you could be allowing things that could have a potential of things to harm you in the longer run that you might not see physically. So these things manifest over a long period of time. So things become slower, things become sluggish, you're not as productive. Even the things that you know that you can do, you can get, you're not able to do those things easily because of now it seems like there's a lot of friction. So you have to get the friction out of your way, because of that is a result of things that are not in your aura, that are not putting you correct. So sometimes they don't have to be physically, directly. So that's why you end up being in a low vibration or in a low frequency. So that's why you actually, try to clear those things out as often as possible. Some, depending on how much you take care of your aura and how not, some might require more work than others. So you need to be in your own journey and recognize, okay, what can I do to cleanse? What can I do to release those energies? What can I do to make sure that I'm in a state of peace and stillness where there's nothing else that's not mine, where you let go of everything, you literally purge. Even if it means starting over, if it's meant for you, it will come. That's why letting go is important, where like you don't always have to attach to things that are not yours. You don't always have to hold on to things anymore, because of if it's really yours, it will come. Like legit, because of now it's going to create more weight than necessary, and sometimes because of these things end up latching onto us now, and it's really important. You feel like a whole different person because of you've accepted certain behaviors or lifestyles or energies in your space. Now you think that's who you are, but that's not really true, and now you actually have to reawaken or really figure out exactly who am I exactly. So I just want you to take time to recognize that your aura does have power, but if you don't taking care of it, you're not using it, there's certain frequencies and experiences that you always experience that always be repeating. And also with words, guys, I feel like the next one's going to be about words, because of the certain words that can reveal your state of being, can reveal your energy, because there's the subconscious and there's the unconscious, right? So I'm going to speak more about the brains in the next video, where about how the brains send out certain signals and frequencies. And I've mentioned this before, you literally have 3 brains, right? So you have your central nervous system, your heart is also a brain, and your gut is also a brain. They actually have neurons, so they also send out signals, and they send out specific electrical magnetic impulses that are there, and they can get stored in each of your brain, and they behave differently. So the same way your gut doesn't behave the same way as your brain, and your brain doesn't behave the same way as your heart, how do you now take care of those specific energies that come into your life? How do we deal with that in a direct thing? I just wanted to give you a rough overview of like what is the aura in general, and how that influences your behavior, your lifestyle, your situations, your experiences with things. Are they slow? Are they fast? Are they taking longer than they should? Are they making you feel uncomfortable? Are they making you feel out of place? Are they making you feel depressed, stressed, and anxious, worried, not comfortable? Those are bad low vibrating energies. If you feel that way, that's not a natural way of living. It may seem like, yeah, situation is so and so. Nah, that's not true. When you were born, you were not made to feel this heaviness, this weight of the world. They say don't conform. So if you conform, you feel like, yeah, this is the situation that I've come with now. That's because you've allowed certain energy in your space, and we can actually help you clear that out. So if you have any specific images, any specific how can I explain this, any specific questions or anything that you want to ask, don't be afraid to DM. I'm on Facebook there. I think when you DM me directly, you're gonna be able to send send the questions that you have. I'll give you my number. We can talk properly on WhatsApp, or you can comment, or you can inbox, or you can email, whatever channel you feel comfortable with. Because of now, it's stages. This is why even in the past few months, every Sunday we've literally been doing meditation Sundays. Talking about mindful mornings. It's also important to include these habits, these practices in your day to day, because they actually reinforce your aura. They make it stronger. They actually make you become more developed, and they help you be able to do a lot more. That you didn't think that you were capable of. And those limiting beliefs, those limiting things might not be your own. You just come to accept them, and they become part of your aura. So you need to cleanse those things out and not allow those things to just take over and become your energy, because that's not who you is. So peace, guys. Take control. Hope that you well. We'll connect next time. See you in the next video. And yeah, out.